Today I'm gonna take you up into those hills right there, and we're gonna go look for some lost gold mines and hopefully maybe even some old cabins. So let's get into it. And there's our first piece of corrugated metal. I got corrugated metal all through this wash, and that tells me miner's cabin. So we're on the right track. There's some more corrugated metal right there. You see it? All in the wash here. Oh, and look at this. More metal. More corrugated metal.
Randy, I found something.
Oh, the missus found something. Let's go find out what it is. She's always finding the good stuff. What's up with that? And here's the front porch. Take a look at this. See that? Here's your steps. There's concrete here. You can see the foundation of it right here. There's the back door. Oh, look at the stove. There's their stove right there. That's a really cool looking front porch. You see that? Look at this. This would be a good place to metal detect. There's so much metal. Here's the baseboards. This looks like maybe the bedroom was over here. Look at this. This is the remnants of a bed. You see this? Remember I'm always telling you about beds? This is the cot. And there's the frame. This is the first one I've seen that still has all the pieces. And I'm sure if you were to put them all together, you can make a cot again. Man, there's a lot of neat stuff here. You imagine what this looked like when it was intact? Now, when you find old cabins like this, start scouting the area, because chances are there's going to be prospect pits and other exploratory shafts and drifts that aren't on any map. And those can be very profitable. Like I told you, sample them because they might have just enough gold for it to be profitable for you. Now remember the rule of thumb, has to have free mill gold, no sulfides, and it has to be at least 1 ounce per ton average, not just high grade. Look at this prospect pit. See this? This is their high grade pile. I can see what they were chasing. It's not that great, but I can see evidence of iron oxides in there, right in through here, and that would be worth chasing. Look at this. See this? If I can get it out of the ground. You see the copper staining on that? That is a very good sign. I can see why they started digging here. You can see where the sulfides have oxidized out, leaving those little cube-shaped pits. See that? And there's some more copper staining right there. This is good stuff. I can see why they were digging. There's another one there, another one here. Oh yeah, look at this. This is really good looking ore. So it looks like they found a vein that is traveling east and west, which is a no-brainer. A lot of the veins out here travel that way, and there's a reason for that. I'll get into that later. So what we're gonna do is we'll bag up all the good-looking pieces of ore out here, and then we'll ship it off and have it assayed. It's a lot easier that way. And of course, just for fun, I'll crush some of it up at home, and if I see any free mill gold in it, I'll go ahead and post a pic of it at the end of this video. That looks like an old horseshoe, don't it? Part of a horseshoe. And look at this. That is some good looking material, huh? There she blow. Oh yeah, I got a little bit of timber work down there. All right, let's do a rock test, see what's down there. It sounds pretty soft. And here's the basement rock that they're cutting into. It's a porphyritic granite. And you can see, look at the texture. You've got fine grained matrix, and then you got these large phenocrysts of feldspar. You see that? And I got a little green, which is epidote. And I'm sure they were hitting pockets of this. You can see where there's an alteration zone there. There's probably a fault running under here that created the pathway that made this alteration possible. And I got a high iron content because look at all these beautiful looking trumpet plants. See that? And here's the miner's cabin that they stayed in. Here's the front door step right here, the threshold. See that? Imagine the stories this thing could tell, huh? And it looks like maybe some tin plating for the potbelly stove. Some wood supporting that's still left. You see the float all there? Big chunks of it, just gobs and gobs of it. And you can see where the concentrations are getting heavier and heavier. The pieces are getting bigger. So we're following it up. We're triangulating the position where we think it's coming from. See that? Beautiful, huh? Just gobs. And then we're up here on top of this little saddle. And look at this. Look at that. Isn't that pretty, huh? So you know I'm gonna be sampling that. So what I'm looking at is areas like there where it's nice and red and rusty. And I'll pull out some samples here. I wonder what's down here. I might have to dig this out down here. Yeah, I'll be taking samples of that. Look at that. There's one quartz vein there. And look right over here. Remember what I told you, parallel veins? And there's a parallel vein right here. Remember I told you about parallel veins. You're not gonna find just one. There'll be a whole swarm of them. We're gonna head up into those hills there, see if we can find any more prospects, because they wouldn't build a cabin out here for nothing. Now on a side note, I get a lot of guys asking me, Jeff, where do you send your samples in to have them assayed? I send them to a company called Reed's Laboratories in California. I've had them test all of my ore, and they've been in business for years, so I trust them. But if you're about to sink a lot of money into a mining operation, I highly recommend that you get 2 independent labs and see if those numbers match. If they do, you're in business. Ah, look at that. Here's another cabin. This thing was pretty darn big. Look at that. You can see where the walls have all fallen down. There's got to be more of them out here. Pack rat's nest. These are great places to metal detect. If you can handle all the little bits of metal and nails, that tells me we're on the right track to finding something really cool. Oh yeah, see all the timbers. Oh, and there's the supports right there. That holds up the entire structure. There's what's left of the flooring right there. See the tongue and groove right there? Where these pieces all kind of lock together? Yeah, that's definite flooring. You know that there's stuff under this floor. It's just a matter of finding it. But right now I'm more interested in finding their gold mines, because there could be a chance that there's still high-grade gold ore there. And that's what I'm interested in. And I know that's what you're interested in too, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. So you know what I'm gonna say, huh? Well, I'm not gonna say anything until you smash that like button. Ooh, look what I found. Isn't that nice? Oh, there's buildings all over the place over here. Look at that. That is so cool. Imagine living out here back in the day. There's a stovepipe right there. There's a stovepipe, old flat roof. You can see where the flagpole was right up there. There's the old flagpole right there. They had screens on the window. See that? Old chair to sit in. Look at this. Look at this retaining wall that they built here. All along here. And they did a really good job on this cabin. There's the kitchen right there. And this looks like the main door frame. Nice, look at that. There's an old nest right there, you see it? A bird nest. They had power out here too, you see that? That means they had a generator, probably diesel. This looks like maybe the living room. Right here, there's all your shelving. Nice. And they had vents out here too. Does that mean they had some kind of rudimentary air conditioner? Maybe a swamp cooler. There's a kitchen. Everything but the kitchen sink. Nice. Look at that. That is cool. And they had plumbing out here and hot water, which means they had a hot water heater. And I'll bet those shelves there used to sit right up here. I hate it when people punch holes in the walls. There's no point for that. Nice. That's cool. This has got to be the bedroom. There's the closet. Yeah, there's the closet pole right there. And there's some kind of shelf right there. I don't know what that's for. But you can see it had a little door on it. And there's a little pole switch there, maybe for a light to be in there. Maybe they kept their stuff in there because you can see the hinges. Right here, you see the hinges? One there, one there. Maybe they had a light. And then there's the magnetic switch. So they probably had all their little, I don't know, pill jars and stuff and shaving cream and all that cool funky stuff. And then they had probably a bed right here if I had to guess. And then they had a window, but for some reason they blocked it off. You see that? I don't know why. But they did have blinds here at one time. You see that? So that was an active window. They didn't want any peeping Toms. And of course, every house has got to have what? That's right. It's got to have a bathroom. And there's your sink. Old school, baby. So there's your water. They definitely have water out here. Hot water. There's your shower head right there. You see the shower head? Nice. And then this, I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like they had cardboard paper to insulate it at one time. Maybe a tool shed of some kind. That's pretty cool. I've got 3 shafts in the area. I've got this one, which is the main shaft. It's obvious, and I'll show you why here in a minute. I've got a stope that daylights, and then I've got another shaft that's attached to the same vein. Now, they found a massive, massive quartz vein here. You can even see it from the highway. Do you see that white discoloration going up the side of the mountain? That's what the old timers saw. And I could see it from the freeway. And it outcrops right here. You can see that's the main shaft. It's kind of small. They're using a shaft sinking bucket like we use in our mine. And then of course you can see the open stope here. And there's some of the lagging on the shaft. I can see why BLM wanted to seal this one up. It's looking a little sketchy. Oh, and by the way, BLM, if you're watching, you guys do a wonderful job on these gates. You see that? And that's an open stope. You can see there's the ore chute and the bins at the bottom. They came up and they worked this vein right here, all the way up to the side there. Here's a section of the original vein. See how nice and red that granitoid rock is? Then you've got this silica vein here. You can see where this is all leached out. But you have inclusions of iron in there, which got them excited. And I got sulfides in there too. Look at that right there. According to the MRDS reports, they had free mill in it. And that's obvious where the pyrite, the sulfides, have oxidized out, leaving limonite. You can see where they were using cribbing to start with, and then they put sets in. It's a decent looking shaft. All the sets look pretty good. You could probably drop this with no problem.
Wish me luck.
Good luck, nice and easy.
Are you almost there?
Yeah, another 10 feet and you're there. You're doing great.
Thank you, sweetie. Yes, I'm doing good. Just looking for the right spot for put my foot. Uh-oh.
There's my baby. Hi, sweetie. Come on down. The water's fine. You just gotta squeeze.
All right.
All right, here we go.
So move from the rope, right?
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, you can walk down from here.
Okay, let's wait. All right.
All right, here we go. Might have to lay down for that one. Hi, sweetie. What's the matter? Your light's all discombobulated.
Yeah, because I had to remove this because it got stuck.
Wow, you did a really good job on that. All right, sweetie, it's all you.
All right.
Chico, ow, ow. Hi, sweetie. Up. Hi, sweetie. Right here, right here. Right there. Down. Well, this is altered andesite and hydrothermally altered, and it's our hanging wall. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to open this up. I'm gonna work with the natural joints that are in the rock to try to pry this away, and then give us more room to get back into where the native gold is, all that specimen gold. The footwall looks like it might be a little much. I might be able to have better luck because you see these joints. You might have luck with prying this away. So that's what we're gonna do. Shouldn't I be wearing eye protection? Wow, that's all gold. Look at that, just rocked it forward and it was all gold in the back. A lot of gold. Just sitting on the top. Hold on, let me pan this back for you. Look at that. Look at that, that's all gold. All load gold from a couple handfuls. That's incredibly rich.
What is that?
And don't forget, at the end of each month, we give away a brand new Gold Monster 1000 metal detector, bags of pay dirt from our drift mine, and silver bars. And if you want to get involved with that, all you got to do is look for the little icon at the end of the video that looks like that. You're going to click on it, make a $10 pledge, and you're in like Flynn. And I'll see you on the next video.
Looks good in NASA on. Roger. BCS arm switch is on. Okay, Victor. Landing rocket arm switch is on. Here comes the throttle. Circuit breakers in. We have separation. Inboard and outboard, they're on. We're coming forward with the side stick. Looks good. Roger. I've got a blowout. Vapor 3. Pitch to 0. Pitch is out.